myself back online. Hey guys! So, this weekend is the season finale of Westworld. I love this show. I am a pretty big fan. And my husband and I have been hosting a Westworld watch party every Sunday. So, of course, we're gonna do the finale. So if you watched the show, you probably saw one of the characters carrying around this tray of like cupcake looking things. They're like the brains or whatever of the robots. But the first thing that I thought of when I saw them was the person was carrying a tray of cupcakes. I'll insert like a photo of them right here. So I knew immediately that I had to try to make those for the finale watch party. So today I'm going to show you guys how I made them so you can make some of your own. So let's get started. You'll need red wafer or cake style ice cream cones, red velvet cake mix, ziploc bags, cream cheese frosting, white almond bark or white chocolate, and a knife. For me, I couldn't find red ice cream cones, but I did find pink ones. I wanted red ones so I didn't have to deal with trying to make these pink ones red, but the ice cream cone section of my grocery store was kind of picked over, so this is all that they had. My plan B was to buy some of the food coloring spray that they sell in a lot of grocery stores now, but they didn't have any red at my grocery store, so then my plan C was to just try painting on the red food coloring. I thinned some red food coloring out with alcohol and painted it onto the cones. I'm using gel food coloring because that's what I had at home already, but I still would have thinned it out even if it was just the liquid food coloring. Also, typically you would use clear alcohol for this, like Everclear or vodka, but I didn't have any like I thought I did, so I decided that I would try out whiskey. Kind of fitting for a kind of Western themed project. Anyway, since I was going for a darker color already, I figured the color of the whiskey wouldn't really mess with the end result. I've seen people do something similar, but with water instead of alcohol, but I've only really ever seen people do that with waffle style cones, not wafer or cake style cones. I would be kind of worried that the water would make them get too mushy. Alcohol dries faster, so it's not really an issue. Anyway, I let these dry overnight just to make sure that they were totally dried out. Before making the cake batter, I thought that I would try out making a little tray to hold the cones while they baked. You could just stand them up in a cupcake tin if you don't want to do this, or like stack them all together in a pyrex or something. Take a disposable aluminum roasting pan and cut holes to fit the ice cream cones. I just eyeballed this, but I would say that the holes were about 1.5 inches in diameter. Make the batter. I just used box cake, so I followed the directions on that. Pour the batter into a gallon-sized Ziploc bag and snip off a corner. Fill the cones up about 3/4 of the way. You also want to make about 2 to 4 extra normal cupcakes depending on the amount of cone cupcakes that you make. For this batch I only made 6 cone cupcakes and ended up needing only 1 extra cupcake for later. I only needed 1 extra cupcake, but I ended up making like 20 extras. I baked them like the normal cupcake instructions said, about 16 to 19 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean. While I waited for them to cool, I made the icing. I'll leave a link to the icing recipe I used. You can use store-bought icing if you want. I just really like to at least do a homemade icing, especially if I don't make the cake from scratch. Anyway, when the cupcake cones are cooled, cut off about 1 inch from the bottom. This is optional. The little brain things in the show are a bit shorter than the cupcake cone, and I wanted to get it at least somewhat right. Melt the white almond bark according to the instructions. Pour it into a Ziploc bag and cut a corner off. Lay down some parchment paper or foil or something that the almond bark won't stick to, and then pipe out a circle about the size of a quarter. Pipe a few stripes on the bottom half of the cone, and then place the cone on top of the almond bark circle. Repeat this with all of the cones. Let the bark harden up. You can stick this in the fridge if you're impatient like me. While that's hardening, take the extra cupcakes you made and crumble them into a bowl. I used 2 extras, but really, for 6 cupcake cones, I probably could have gotten away with 1. Now that these are all hardened, ice the tops. Make sure to put enough icing to make the top domed. Put some of the icing into a ziploc, snip off the corner, and then pipe across the tops like so, kind of like an X pattern. Now, I was trying to sort of mimic how they looked in the show, but this next step sort of messes it up. I'm wondering if I should have chilled it a little bit to make the icing harder, or if I should have just used something other than crumbs. I guess I could have dyed the icing red as well, so yeah. When you're doing this, you have a few options if you don't like how the ones that I made in this one turned out. Anyway, cover the tops with the cake crumbs. I feel like I got a better look when I really pressed them in, but sadly that made the piped detail on the top go away. Oh well, maybe I'll just keep playing around with this for another time. And there we are. You can go one step further and make a plastic serving tray for them, but I just displayed them on top of a glass pyrex that was flipped over. So here they are. I'm not 100% happy with how they turned out, but the Westworld fans that I showed them to knew exactly what they were, so that counts for something. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. I'm also streaming on Twitch. I still don't have a set schedule, but if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I post on there whenever I go live on Twitch, or you can follow me on Twitch and it should notify you. I'm doing my artwork on there. I haven't really done any games, but I'm kind of thinking about doing some, but for the most part, it's art. So if you like that kind of stuff, if you want to hang out while I'm drawing live, then come check it out. If you like my art and you want to buy a print, you can check out my Society 6 or my InPrint. There'll be a link to both of those down below. They're like print-on-demand websites, and Society 6, you can have my artwork printed on a bunch of different things, like laptop cases, shower curtains, towels. You could just get a nice print. And on InPrint, it's mostly just nice art prints. So if you are interested in buying some of my artwork, then go check those out. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you're interested in becoming a patron or learning about what Patreon is, I'll leave a link to mine right up here and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week. Freeze all motor functions.